Bruce Willis, the very name conjures up images of an effortless cool, a sly smirk, and that unmistakable charisma that has dominated Hollywood for decades. Though he may be best known for playing tough, wisecracking heroes, it's impossible to box him into just one type of role. Throughout his illustrious career, Bruce Willis has been everything from a rugged detective combating terrorists to an everyman grappling with supernatural secrets. Have you ever stopped to think about just how many iconic movie moments he's been part of? Whether he's shouting catchphrases in the middle of explosive action sequences or delivering understated, introspective performances, Bruce Willis has left an indelible mark on pop culture. Today, we're exploring 10 of his best films, the ones that have defined his legacy, surprised us with his range, and kept us coming back for more. 1. Die Hard. Let's begin with the film that cemented Bruce Willis's status as a bona fide action star, Die Hard. Released in 1988, this high-octane thriller, directed by John McTiernan, introduced the world to John McClane, an off-duty New York City cop visiting Los Angeles for the holidays. Many fans were amazed to discover that at the time, Willis was primarily known for his comedic role in the TV series Moonlighting, so seeing him as a gritty action hero was a bold and ultimately brilliant casting choice. Set in the fictional Nakatomi Plaza, Die Hard wastes no time plunging McClane and the audience into life-or-death stakes when terrorists seize the building during the company's Christmas party. Willis's portrayal of McClane stands out for its blend of vulnerability and rebelliousness. He bleeds, he sweats, and he's every bit the reluctant hero we can root for. The film's sharp dialogue also gave birth to one of cinema's most iconic catchphrases, "Yippee-ki-yay," which remains synonymous with Bruce Willis to this day. Have you ever tried to think of a more perfect marriage between a movie star and a character? The raw, down-to-earth toughness Willis brought to McClane feels so natural, it's hard to imagine anyone else filling those shoes. Beyond McClane's character, the film boasts a memorable villain in Hans Gruber, portrayed by the late, great Alan Rickman. Their cat-and-mouse game across the building's floors creates a thrilling sense of claustrophobia and urgency, punctuated by brilliant one-liners and explosive set-pieces. Die Hard redefined action movies for a generation, spawning numerous sequels and countless imitators. However, no copycat could quite replicate the perfect storm of wit, ferocity, and authenticity that Willis delivered. If you haven't seen this holiday season staple, or it's been a while, do yourself a favor and revisit it to see just how much modern action cinema owes to Die Hard. 2. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Speaking of unforgettable adventures, the next movie on our list swings us right back into John McClane's world, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Released in 1995, this is the third installment in the Die Hard series, reuniting Bruce Willis with director John McTiernan. Have you ever wondered how a franchise can keep audiences hooked across multiple films? This sequel is a fantastic example. By shaking up the formula and placing McClane in a sprawling cityscape rather than a single building or airport, the filmmakers gave the series fresh energy and higher stakes. Bruce Willis reprises his role as the grizzled, now semi-retired McClane, who's pulled back into action by a mysterious bomber named Simon, played by Jeremy Irons. One of the highlights of this film is the surprising partnership between McClane and Zeus Carver, a Harlem shopkeeper portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson. Their banter and friction-filled chemistry infuses Die Hard with a Vengeance, with humor and camaraderie, balancing out the film's relentless action. Did you know that Jackson's character wasn't originally intended to be such a significant role? Once the filmmakers saw the comedic and dramatic sparks flying between Jackson and Willis, they expanded the part and shifted the narrative focus to fully capitalize on that dynamic. Set against the hot summer streets of New York City, the film feels like a non-stop thrill ride. Every few minutes, McClane and Zeus are hurled into another puzzle or high-speed chase orchestrated by Simon. Willis's performance here is one of his most physically demanding, and you can practically feel McClane's exhaustion and frustration build as he's forced to play Simon's dangerous games. While the Die Hard franchise offers varying levels of quality across its entries, Die Hard with a Vengeance stands tall as a high point, a fast-paced, cleverly plotted film that brilliantly recaptures the spirit of the original while charting new territory. The Sixth Sense. Shifting gears from explosions and shootouts, we come to the atmospheric, spine-chilling drama that proved Bruce Willis wasn't just an action star. The Sixth Sense. Released in 1999 and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, this supernatural tale follows child psychologist Dr. Malcolm Crowe, Willis, who's determined to help a young boy plagued by visions of the dead. "I see dead people," that haunting line became a cultural phenomenon. But did you know many viewers initially had no idea they were in for one of the biggest twist endings in movie history? In The Sixth Sense, Bruce Willis delivers a hauntingly understated performance. There's a quiet melancholy to Dr. Crowe that starkly contrasts with the wisecracking, rough-and-tumble characters Willis played before. It's almost disorienting, in the best possible way, to see him so subdued and introspective. Haley Joel Osment's portrayal of Cole Sear was, of course, a major reason for the film's emotional impact, but Willis's calm, empathetic presence provides the crucial balance that makes the story feel so genuine. One of the film's greatest strengths is how it frames the supernatural elements within a deeply human story of pain, regret, and the search for redemption. Willis's Dr. Crowe is wrestling with personal demons, his professional failures, his strained marriage, and it's through helping Cole that he finds renewed purpose. The famous plot twist at the end redefined the modern horror thriller genre and catapulted M. Night Shyamalan to fame. Meanwhile, The Sixth Sense reminded Hollywood that Bruce Willis's talents extended well beyond big-budget action. If you love psychological mysteries that keep you guessing right up until the final scene, this is one you can't afford to miss. Fourth, Pulp Fiction. From ghostly confessions to criminally cool storytelling, we move on to Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, 1994, where Bruce Willis stepped into the shoes of Butch Coolidge, an aging boxer who refuses to throw a fight. This film signaled a new era in independent cinema, smashing conventions with its sharp dialogue, non-linear narrative, and eclectic soundtrack. Have you ever marveled at a movie's ability to juggle multiple storylines without losing its momentum? Pulp Fiction does exactly that, and Willis's segment is key to the film's success. Butch is tough, stubborn, and fiercely proud, a classic Bruce Willis archetype, yet he brings a surprising vulnerability to the role, particularly in scenes with his girlfriend Fabienne, played by Maria de Medeiros. Their tender exchanges offset the brutality Butch confronts in the ring and the dangerous run-ins with gangsters that follow. Of course, it wouldn't be Pulp Fiction without moments that simultaneously shock and amuse. The infamous pawn shop scene, for instance, remains one of cinema's most unnerving sequences, and Willis's stoic yet horrified reaction helps anchor the viewer during that bizarre shift in tone. Tarantino's dialogue provides a playground for actors to explore comedic timing, pop culture references, and moments of tension that defy audience expectations. Willis's scenes in Pulp Fiction gave him a fresh opportunity to showcase his range to a whole new audience, particularly indie film fans who might not have been keen on mainstream action movies. Critically and commercially, Pulp Fiction became a phenomenon, winning the Palme d'Or at Cannes and revitalizing John Travolta's career as well. For Bruce Willis, it was a clear statement. Put him in a sharp script, give him room to breathe, and he'll produce compelling work that stands the test of time. 5. Unbreakable. Another collaboration between Bruce Willis and M. Night Shyamalan, Unbreakable, 2000, is a slow-burn psychological thriller that also serves as a stealth superhero origin story. Willis plays David Dunn, a Philadelphia security guard who learns there might be something extraordinary about his resilience and physical abilities. Meanwhile, Samuel L. Jackson portrays Elijah Price, a man plagued by a brittle bone disease whose obsession with comic book lore leads him to some startling conclusions. What makes Unbreakable so fascinating is the subdued, realistic tone it applies to comic book tropes. Have you ever wondered what superpowers would look like if they existed quietly in our everyday world, without the flashy costumes and epic battles? That's exactly what this movie explores. Willis gives David Dunn a world-weary vibe, a man weighed down by life's disappointments and routine. Slowly, David uncovers strengths he never imagined having. The transformation isn't triumphant in the typical Hollywood sense. It's introspective, underscored by doubt, fear, and a creeping sense of destiny. Willis's chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson provides the film with an intriguing tension. Elijah is frail yet brilliant, while David is physically robust but spiritually lost. Shyamalan's trademark cinematography uses lingering shots and muted color palettes to reinforce the film's contemplative atmosphere. Unbreakable didn't reach the same explosive popularity as The Sixth Sense, but over time it's developed a cult following, especially among comic book enthusiasts who appreciate its grounded storytelling. If you're seeking a Bruce Willis movie that offers a different approach to heroism and identity, Unbreakable will leave you pondering its twists and turns long after the credits roll. 6. The Fifth Element. If you're in the mood for vibrant sci-fi spectacle, look no further than Luc Besson's The Fifth Element, 1997. In this cosmic carnival of color and chaos, Bruce Willis plays Corbin Dallas, a down-on-his-luck taxi driver and former Special Forces major who finds himself responsible for saving the universe. Yes, you read that correctly. He's tasked with saving all life from an ancient evil alongside Milla Jovovich's Lilu, a mysterious supreme being. Have you ever envisioned a future so imaginative and playful, it almost feels like you're stepping into a comic book? The Fifth Element brings that future to life with its exotic cityscapes, outrageous costumes designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and a cast of characters that ranges from Chris Tucker's eccentric talk show host Ruby Rhod to Gary Oldman's delightfully sinister Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Amid all the exaggerated style, Willis's Corbin Dallas remains the grounded force we can latch onto. Think of him as the cool-headed, relatable guy in a universe of flamboyant oddballs. The film's fast pace and eye-popping visuals are balanced by witty banter and comedic timing, essential elements that Willis nails with characteristic ease. Though The Fifth Element might not be to everyone's taste due to its flamboyant tone and sometimes over-the-top humor, it has emerged as a beloved cult classic. For many fans, the fun is in watching Bruce Willis, ever the tough, reluctant hero, navigate a wild sci-fi world with the same charm and grit he brought to earthbound action flicks. If you're seeking a larger-than-life romp filled with futuristic eye candy and irreverent humor, this film offers a memorable ride through the cosmos. 7. 12 Monkeys. In 1995's 12 Monkeys, directed by Terry Gilliam, Bruce Willis steps into a post-apocalyptic future ravaged by a lethal virus. He plays James Cole, a convict sent back in time to gather information about the virus that nearly wiped out humanity. It's a time travel saga that marries Gilliam's surreal visual style with mind-bending storytelling. Have you ever watched a film that left you questioning your own perception of reality? 12 Monkeys accomplishes that and more, weaving a narrative that blurs the lines between sanity and madness. Willis's James Cole is fraught with despair and confusion, yet fiercely determined to complete his mission. He's joined by Brad Pitt in a scene-stealing role as Jeffrey Goins, a psychiatric patient who may or may not hold the key to the virus's origin. Their dynamic is unpredictable and electric. Cole's stoic desperation clashes with Jeffrey's manic energy in scenes that leave you both uneasy and captivated. 12 Monkeys keeps you guessing whether Cole's experiences are real or simply the result of trauma and psychiatric delusion. Critics lauded Willis for his layered, harrowing performance, praising him for stepping outside the wisecracking action mold. The film's unique blend of tragedy, satire, and dystopian science fiction helped it gain a devoted following. It isn't always easy viewing. Certain scenes can be disorienting or unsettling, but that's part of what makes 12 Monkeys such a standout in Willis's filmography. It challenges our expectations of him as an actor and invites us to consider how thin the line between sanity and chaos might be, especially when the fate of humanity is hanging in the balance. 8. Sin City. No stranger to a cinematic world dripping with style, Bruce Willis joined the ensemble cast of Sin City in 2005. Directed by Robert Rodriguez and based on Frank Miller's neo-noir graphic novels, the film features interwoven stories set in the grim and violent Basin City. Willis portrays John Hartigan, a jaded cop with a heart of gold who's determined to save a young girl from a brutal predator. The visual style of Sin City is unlike anything else. Black and white with strategic splashes of color that punctuate blood, lipstick, or a character's striking eyes. This hyper-stylized approach is paired with gritty voiceovers, reflecting each character's cynical worldview. Have you ever wondered what a graphic novel would look like if it came to life exactly as it appears on the page? That's precisely what Sin City accomplishes. Willis's Hartigan is arguably the moral core of the film, despite being caught in a web of corruption, violence, and despair. His quest to protect Nancy, Jessica Alba, is both heroic and tragic, highlighting his fatalistic acceptance of his own limitations in a city where good deeds rarely go unpunished. Willis's weathered gravitas anchors the film's frenetic pace and larger-than-life characters, making us empathize with Hartigan's desperation for justice and redemption. Though Sin City is definitely not for the faint of heart, it's brutally violent and unapologetically dark, it stands as a prime example of how Bruce Willis's star power can elevate a stylized, ensemble-driven project. 9. Armageddon. Few movies capture the sheer bombast of 90s cinema quite like Michael Bay's Armageddon, 1998. With an asteroid hurtling toward Earth, NASA enlists a team of oil drillers led by Harry Stamper, Bruce Willis, to save humanity by blasting the asteroid to pieces. The plot is as outrageous as it sounds. Have you ever questioned the logic of sending drillers to space rather than training astronauts to drill? Don't worry, you're not alone. Yet, Armageddon is less about precise realism and more about delivering 2+ hours of adrenaline, spectacle, and heartfelt camaraderie. Willis's Harry Stamper embodies the stubborn, protective father figure we can't help but root for. His tight-knit team includes colorful characters played by Ben Affleck, Steve Buscemi, and Michael Clarke Duncan, each bringing comedic and emotional beats that underline the looming threat of global annihilation. The film's emotional core is strengthened by Harry's relationship with his daughter, Grace, Liv Tyler, providing tear-jerking moments amid all the explosions and near-death experiences. Although critics were divided, some loved the spectacle, others scoffed at the science, audiences turned Armageddon into a massive box office hit. Willis's central performance is critical to why the film resonates. Behind his tough leadership and determination, you sense real fear and self-sacrifice. Indeed, Armageddon is unapologetically sentimental, complete with a memorable Aerosmith power ballad that still tugs at the heartstrings. If you're looking for large-scale, popcorn-fueled entertainment where Bruce Willis literally tries to save the world, you can't go wrong with this blockbuster. 10. Looper. Rounding out our list is a time-travel thriller that's both cerebral and action-packed. Looper, 2012. Directed by Rian Johnson, the film stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Joe, a hired gun known as a looper who assassinates targets sent back from the future. But when his older self, played by Bruce Willis, appears as the next target, the plot takes a mind-bending turn. This is one of those movies that weaves a labyrinth of moral dilemmas, paradoxes, and personal choices that can reshape the future. Willis's portrayal of Old Joe is particularly noteworthy. He's a man haunted by a tragic past and willing to commit desperate acts to change the outcome of his future timeline. Meanwhile, Gordon-Levitt, wearing subtle prosthetics and adopting Willis's mannerisms, sells the audience on the idea that he's indeed a younger version of the same man. Have you ever wondered what you would say to your future self, or your younger self, if you had the chance? Looper ponders these questions while delivering intense shootouts, thrilling chase sequences, and a tense cat-and-mouse game between the two Joes. One of the film's highlights is how it balances its high-concept ideas with relatable human drama, asking viewers to consider the lengths we'd go to protect what we love. Willis's performance resonates because we understand Old Joe's desperation, even if we can't fully condone his actions. While time travel elements can be confusing, Looper remains grounded through its character-driven narrative. It's a fitting testament to Bruce Willis's ability to anchor complex stories with authenticity and emotional weight. Which of these standout performances strikes a chord with you the most? Are you drawn to the adrenaline rush of Die Hard, the mind-bending twists of The Sixth Sense, or the futuristic oddities of The Fifth Element? I'd love to know your thoughts, so be sure to share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button.